What is up, Scentsy fans? It's Patricia and welcome to another week of Tester Tuesday. This week we are wrapping up the last of the Bring Back My Bar scents that I have not reviewed. So we'll be covering 4 scents today and they launched January 1st. So get your list ready and let's get into the reviews. Alright, let's talk about our first scent for the week. I'm just going to go alphabetically. This one we have is Lily of the Valley. It's this yellowy colored wax. It almost looks like white wax that's been exposed to a smoker. Yellow tinge. And Scentsy has put this in the floral category. It's a Bring Back My Bar release for the month of January. So let's read the scent description. Scentsy says, very fresh and green, true to the scent of a white lily. Now, I am not a floral expert, but this is definitely a floral. There's a little bit of bold white floral, I think, and a little bit of sweetness and a little bit of freshness. So Lily of the Valley is something that triggered me because I thought to myself, I think this is one that they cannot derive the oil naturally from the source. It has to be a synthetic version of Lily of the Valley. So I went and double checked on the frequently asked questions in the Scentsy training portion of the workstation, and yes, this is the scent that it's an example of how they have to use synthetic oils to produce this. All right, so let's talk about family rating and then we'll talk about performance. So my husband said 5 out of 10 for Lily of the Valley, and Erica and Ryan both said 8 out of 10. And I would think it's about a 6 out of 10. I'm okay with it as a floral. There's a little bit of an assertive tone to it, and it's not shy, but it's not as aggressive as something like a Lush Gardenia. And in fact, it kind of reminds me a little bit of the Tiare portion of Sizzlin Coconut. So if you've smelled that one, it reminds me of this. There's a little tiny bit of underlying sweetness and creaminess to the scent. So I warmed 3 cubes in Erica's room, and I left it going a couple of days. Now the first day at max it was about 7.5 for strength out of 10. And then the second day I didn't really notice it as much. I would say maybe it was about 4 out of 10. I actually didn't write it down, but I left it going a couple of days and then I removed it. Then I also put 1 cube in the hallway glass mini warmer, which is not a good performer, but it lets me gauge how it is compared to other scents. And I would say this is about an average performer there for comparing it to other scents that I've used. So I left it going a few days there and then removed it. When I walked by, I could get whiffs, but I had to get really close to the warmer. So this is probably more of a spring-summer style scent. And I think for location, I think if you had a small open area or a den or an office, or if you like these kind of scents in a bedroom, then that would be where you could warm it. But a lot of people are probably going to warm it in a bathroom because a lot of florals do really well in bathrooms. Will I be repurchasing this one? No, I mean, I still have 4 cubes left, and so I will finish them off. Probably 3 cubes in Erica's room and maybe 1 cube in the storage room, which is where I'm filming right now because my husband's asleep. But yeah, not a repurchase, but not a bad scent. So that is Lily of the Valley. All right, let's talk about our second scent for the week. It is Orange Dreamsicle. It's an orange colored wax, and this one is in the citrus category. On cold sniff, it's about a medium light in intensity. So let's read the scent description. Scentsy says, a classic combination of fresh orange swirled with vanilla cream. So this very much reminds me of an orange dreamsicle. However, there is a little bit of a diluted orange tone that I get, almost like if you had an orange pop with some ice cubes in it and they melt into the orange pop. That's kind of what the smell is for the orange component to me. I much prefer tangerine creamsicle, although tangerine creamsicle is a little bit lighter than this one. But one thing I will say is I've only warmed this one other time, and this time around it was much stronger than the other time, so I was pleased about that. So let's talk about the family rating. My husband said 6 out of 10, and then once it was warmed, he commented that he really liked the scent in the boys' room, and it was this one. So it goes to show that sometimes the number will go up once you warm the scent. Erica said 6 out of 10, and Ryan said 9.5 out of 10, so that's why I decided to put it in the boys' room. So I put 3 cubes in the boys' room, and I would say strength was about a 7, but the throw was very good. It was probably like an 8 or a 9. It just seemed to travel and throw throughout the space, and it was invading my other scents in my other parts of the apartment. So I was impressed with that. Like I said, not an overly strong scent, but what was present was really throwing and moving throughout the apartment. So the throw was really well. And I would describe it, I forgot to say, it is a little bit of an airy feel. Like there's a little bit of an airy feel, and that kind of goes with something like an orange dreamsicle. So I decided to put 1 cube in here as well, which is the storage room, It was 7.5 out of 10 at max, and I left it going 2 days. And in the boys' room, I left it going about a day and a half. So citrus scents tend to lose their steam. Now this room is fairly small, so that could be why I left it going a little bit longer. I think if you're someone that likes tangerine creamsicle, you'll probably want to try this one and compare to see which one you like better. Or if you like scents like Dumbo Circus Parade, it's kind of along that airy, citrusy feel. I think this is more spring and summer leaning, and I would say it would do really well in a kitchen or somewhere you need a bright, citrusy, fresh scent to kind of cut through something that might not smell the greatest. Maybe a spot that there's a kitty litter box, it might kind of cut through that odor as well. Will I be repurchasing this one? Even though my family really liked it, I actually prefer, for my favorite orange scent, I prefer Oodles of Orange, but I actually also prefer Tangerine Creamsicle. So I'm okay with just sticking with what I have here, but I was impressed how it was much better than the last time I warmed it. All right, let's talk about our third scent for the week. It is Simply Cinnamon. This is a orange-brown colored wax, and Scentsy has put this in the spice category. On cold sniff, I would say it's about a medium, maybe even medium lightish. Let me just smell again. Yeah, I would say about medium light. So let's read the scent description. Scentsy says, warm, spicy, classic, rich, purely cinnamon. So I find Scentsy has a bunch of different cinnamons, but this is the one that they have that's not overly sweet. It's a little bit grounded and earthy, and it almost reads a tiny bit dusty at time, and almost like there's a tiny little bit of a tonka tang into it. So not to scare you, but this reminds me of the cinnamon that I get from Churros So Sweet, like a dusty, dirty kind of cinnamon that's very earthy and not very sweet at all. So because of that, it wasn't my favorite. Now, if I'm going to compare, I would say this is grounded and earthy and not very sweet. And Cinnamon Bear's cinnamon is a bit more fiery, candy sweet, almost like a fiery, candy sweet cinnamon. It is pretty red hot. I prefer that cinnamon to this cinnamon. So they are different to my nose. Let's talk about the family rating and see what they thought. My husband made a face and he said there's a lot of cinnamon in this, and he gave it 5 out of 10. Eric enjoyed this one at 8 out of 10, and Ryan didn't really like it very much at 5 out of 10. That's a pretty low mark for him. So I decided to put it in my open area and also in Erica's room because she seemed to like it. And I also had testers, which I don't know if I brought, but I had some testers to use up. They were really, really old, so that's why I was able to warm it in those spots and still have enough wax. So in my main area, I used about 4.5 cubes from my bar, and I used roughly about 2 cubes equivalent from testers, maybe a little less, and I put it in the open area amongst 4 warmers. It wasn't overly strong. I would say between 4 and 5 out of 10, but the second day it was still about 4 and 5 out of 10. So it was one of those scents that when I woke up the second morning, I could really smell it no problem, but as I was in the room, I couldn't really smell it. So I also decided to warm it in Erica's room. We are on day 2 in Erica's room, and it did a little bit better there. It was probably about 6 out of 10 yesterday, but today it is very light. I would say it's probably about a 2 or a 3 out of 10. So time to remove. I think if you're someone that's going to warm this, you have to like that earthy cinnamon, or if you want to add that component to a scent and you don't want the sweetness that Cinnamon Bear gives, and then this would be the one you'd want to mix with. So I think it's a Simply scent variety, which is one of those scents that they put out, which was basic in nature and could be mixed with other things. I think that's what you should do with this. If you're going to use it, you should mix it. And it will probably make it a little bit better. It would do really nice with a vanilla scent or a creamy scent. So obviously a fall winter leaning scent, and I would say for space you want to probably stick to smaller spaces. In a way, because I didn't find it overly strong, it's probably good because sometimes people don't like cinnamon scents that are overly strong. But will I repurchase this one? No. This one I wasn't really impressed with. It's definitely easy to pass on this one. That's Simply Cinnamon. Alright, let's talk about our last scent for the week. It is Sizzlin Coconut. This one is a crisp white wax, and Scentsy has put this in the, I believe, fresh category. I'll double check and correct myself if I'm wrong. I would say on cold sniff this is between medium and medium light. So let's read the scent description. Scentsy says, tempting mix of cinnamon, coconut milk, and rich vanilla. I definitely get coconut, and I probably would get a vanilla. This reminds me of a variation of coconut palm, which was kind of an earthy, basic, raw, like cut open the coconut. I always joke around that you're Tom Hanks in Castaway and you're with the real coconut. That one had a patchouli undertone, and this one has a cinnamon undertone. Now, the only time I can smell the cinnamon is when I'm right over the warmer, like breathing in. When it's in the room, it just smells like a creamy coconut. Now, my customer Angie really likes coconut scents, and she asked if she was going to like this one. And she also said, am I going to smell Play-Doh? And I said, you should probably pass, because she didn't really like crazy coconut, and I don't think she liked coconut palms. It's probably one of those coconuts that you need to smell for yourself and decide. So if you love coconuts, I would add this to your list and then decide if it's just too earthy, too sweet, too plain, too whatever for you. I find it a fairly nice coconut, but it's one of those ones that it's probably going to sit in my collection, these 2 cubes, for a while, because it takes me forever to use up coconut scents. I don't reach for them. So I guess that kind of answers, am I going to repurchase? No, I'm not going to repurchase. Let's talk about what my family thought of this one. All right, my husband said 6 out of 10. He said this one is just boring. I thought that's kind of harsh, but in a way it's true a little bit. I found it a little bit on the boring side. Boring, but pleasant. Erica was very slow to respond for this one. She kept breathing and breathing and breathing, and then she said 6 out of 10. And Ryan said it's all right at 7. So one thing I will say is, in real life, have you ever seen coconut paired with cinnamon in a dessert? Not very often. So I always say to myself, if it doesn't seem like it goes in real life, then it's probably not going to go in the scent world. So not that it's a bad scent, it's just one that doesn't stand out for me. It reminds me of a scent that they wanted to make a fall-winter scent out of a coconut, and so they put cinnamon with it and put it in the fall-winter catalog. That's what it reminds me of. All right, so before we move to the voting, I'm going to actually go through the whole Bring Back My Bar list in quick version to let you know what I'm going to be repurchasing. Banana Nut Bread. I might pick up 1 or 2, but I wish it was stronger. Bergamot and Solar Driftwood. I might pick up 1 because I have a scent memory of that. It's a nice masculine, leaning, fresh, citrusy scent. Berry Tart. I'm not going to repurchase any. Cherry Clove Chutney. I would repurchase 1 or 2, but I've had so much of it in the past that I'm good for now. Cozy Kitchen. I'm on the fence. I might pick up 1 or 2. I might even put it in my club because it's one of my mom's favorites. Cranberry Spice is the same as Cherry Clove Chutney for me. I've had so many in the past that I don't need to repurchase, but if I did have a lighter wax load, I would probably buy some. Key Lime Pie is not a repurchase for me. I just found it too candy and not enough pie. Lily of the Valley is not a repurchase. Lucky in Love, I might repurchase 1. Mandarin Toffee Treat is not a repurchase, and I did find it quite a bit lighter this round. Ode to Opulence is a scent that I didn't rewarm since my initial warming, and I'll probably just pass on repurchasing because I have a lot of wax. Orange Clove Pomander, I might pick up 1, perhaps 2. Orange Dreamsicle, my family liked it, but I probably won't repurchase because we have other similar options that I enjoy. Pixie, I might purchase 1. It's a light, atmospheric bedroom sophisticated scent. Posy Peach, I might purchase 1. I enjoyed that peach years ago when I warmed it. Pumpkin Tiramisu, I'm probably going to pick up 1 as well because I got a lot of compliments on that one. It was a lingerer type of scent. People could smell it on my clothes. Sedona Sunset is not a repurchase for me. I do have a bar from my kit. I did warm it years ago. I didn't really care for that one. Simply Cinnamon, I just discussed, not a repurchase. Sizzlin Coconut, also not a repurchase, but it wasn't a bad scent for me. Snuggle Up is in my club. It'll probably stay there because it's one of the few laundry scents and lavender scents that I actually enjoy. I would highly recommend that one if you're on the fence. Give it a try. It's a great performer. Summer Sippin' is a very dominant lemon scent with an artificial raspberry, and there's a little bit of an airy tone that I don't care for. If it didn't have that airy tone, I might pick up more, but just not one that I enjoy. But again, I'm not someone that loves fruit. Taj Mahal was very floral, musky, exotic, powdery. Not one that I enjoyed, so not a repurchase, but I'm so happy to finally have tried it. Thunderstorm is a fresh, floral, ozonic, atmospheric, bright scent, and I do enjoy that one. I do have 1 bar, and that's probably going to be enough for me. Woolly Slippers is in my club. It will stay in my club, and I suggest you pick that one up and give it a try because it's a really dominant marshmallow scent. Very little lavender. I'm not a lavender fan, but I love that one. And last but not least, Yuzu Dragon is a very tropical fruity scent, and I prefer something like Kahiko Hula, and I actually have a couple bars of that. That one is actually similar to Desert Tropics from a couple of years ago, so not a repurchase for me. All right, so let's get into the voting. If you're new to my channel, I'm going to pick 6 different scents to present to you, and you are going to pick 2 scents to vote on, and you're going to put your votes down in the YouTube comment section or find my Instagram post, it's Patricia Gates, and put your 2 votes there. So I'm kind of winging it here because I'm in a different location, but I grabbed some scents, and one of them is December's scent of the month, Snowflakes and Sage. So that's going to be scent number 1. And this was the one that was stuck in the Canada Post strike for over a month. So I finally got it, so that's kind of nice. We'll see if you guys want me to warm that. Let's do some testers, shall we? It is called Tester Tuesday. So scent number 2 is going to be Weathered Leather. Scent number 3, Mystery Man. Sorry. Scent number 4, lots of testers here, Clove and Cinnamon. Scent number 5, I do have a bar of this one as well, Newborn Nursery. Look at, there's 2 very discolored testers there. And scent number 6, I also have a bar of this one and a lot of testers, and this is one that I kind of mentioned today, so that is Lush Gardenia. So thanks for spending the last few minutes with me. I hope you have a great day in your neck of the woods. Thanks for watching, take care, and I will see you guys in the next video.